It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I just learned Discover credit cards do something pretty awesome. At the end of your first year, they automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right, everything you earned doubled. All the cash back from eating at your favorite soup dumpling restaurant doubled. All the cash back from the trip where you sort of learned how to snowboard also doubled. And the best part, you don't have to do anything ridiculous to get it. Nope, Discover does it automatically. Seriously though, see terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
It's time to kick off day 2 of Lord Stanley's playoffs in the NHL, breaking down the second set of series with predictions, previews, who's winning in how many games, and all of the best bets from each series on today's episode of the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast. Let's get right to it.
You're Locked On Fantasy Hockey, your daily podcast on fantasy hockey. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back inside the lab, everybody, to your source for fantasy hockey news and degenerate gambling breakdowns. It's the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast, joined as always by my esteemed co-host, Mr. Steele Roden. It's your boy, Big Flip Livingstone. Thank you for making us your first listen every single day, including all throughout the playoffs. Steele and I have you covered with all that you need to know every single day. So make sure you are tuned and tapped in across all platforms you find your favorite and hottest content. Today's episode, Steele, is brought to you by FanDuel. And this episode is obviously sponsored by our favorite sportsbook. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn today to get started. I got it that time, Steele, and it's going to be another big-time episode. I am always, and people who listen to this show know, fired up and motivated to talk hockey. This is a big day in the NHL, day 2. We got another 4 set of series starting, Steele. We're going to break down Rangers, Devils, Bolts, Leafs, Jets, Golden Knights, and round it out with the Seattle Kraken going against the reigning Cup champ in the Colorado Avalanche. Previews, predictions, everything you need, plus big-time bets for Tuesday night, Steele.
Yes, sir.
Lots going on in the NHL today. I hope that you and I have enough in the tank, because after a couple of nights, you're going to be up watching Mini. You're going to be up watching Leafs. It's going to be a busy couple of weeks for us. So we got to stay hydrated and focused here. But if you're okay with it, let's save our minutes on the show for what the people are listening for and not my preamble. Rangers, Devils, let's dive right into it.
Yeah, let's start with that game for Tuesday night. I'm very excited for this playoff series. I think it's going to be one of the highlights in the first round. There's going to be a lot of highlights in the first round, but I'm definitely keeping my eye on the Rangers and New Jersey Devils. And for me, I think the lack of playoff experience for the New Jersey Devils is what's going to kill them in the first round. So I am going with the New York Rangers in 6 games. It could go 7. They could make it a very competitive matchup. But nonetheless, the Rangers come out on top. I've got Rangers in 6. You know, looking at the Devils, it's been an absolute fantastic regular season for them. A regular season for them. Absolutely incredible what guys like Jack Hughes, Jesper Bratt, Dougie Hamilton, Vitek Vanacek, and just the whole organization has been able to do. You know, finish second in the Metropolitan, a team that hasn't made the postseason. They've only made the postseason once in the last 10 years. So a very, very bright future for the Devils with a lot of young guys. But again, I think the lack of experience going into the playoffs against this New York Rangers team that made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals last year is going to be too much to handle for them. Shesterkin's the better goaltender. Adam Fox is the better defenseman, in my opinion, even though Dougie Hamilton is an elite defender. And it's going to be an overwhelming superstar combo in Tarasenko, Panarin, Zibanejad, Patrick Kane. So there's just too much for the Devils to handle.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me. Man, I love coming on this show and talking hockey with you, and I hope the listeners appreciate that because this is going to be a 7-game series, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And I'm definitely going to ride with the Rangers. Just too much that I like with this team. So there it is out the gate. The Rangers win this series, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than people expect. And I hear the inexperience part, but that's to some of their younger pieces. They have Dougie Hamilton, who's been on a run. They have Ryan Graves, who's been on a run. They have Thomas Tatar. There is pieces there that have been on a run, but I guess what is concerning is who they have to rely on most. Dawson Mercer, Heishier, and mostly Jack Hughes up front, who don't have that experience. So will it weigh out in the end? I think the Rangers get it done, Steele, but to me it comes down to the major factor. Other than that, if I were to poke a hole, I'm taking Shesterkin over Vanacek all day long. Even on Shesterkin's bad days, still riding with Shesty all day. I know he's been a little up and down this year, Steele, and I want to hit you with this, and this is why I'm saying 7 games for the Rangers. Last year, they almost didn't get by the Penguins, win it in 7. Almost don't get by the Carolina Hurricanes and win it in 7. And then they almost take it to 7 with Tampa as well. This just feels like one of those things this team does. They grind it out. They're gritty. And I know that they have the offensive pieces up front. And the other question mark is, can Patty Kane and Tarasenko get it done? But I'd be less worried about that than Shesterkin. He needs to stand on his head, Steele. He needs to be better than he was. I know he got better down the stretch, but I want to see the real Shesterkin. And if he plays, Rangers might win this one in a lot faster than 7 if he can stand on his head, but I'm with you. I like the Rangers to make some noise this postseason, Steele. So I think tomorrow you and I should go through our brackets and break down overall look at the playoffs, but Rangers in 7 is my pick.
Yeah, I want to see the real Igor Shesterkin back in this postseason as well. And to me, it doesn't matter in how many games it gets done as long as the Rangers get it done at the end of the day. So 6 or 7 games, it doesn't matter to me. I've got 6, you've got 7. We're on the same page here with the New York Rangers. I just think the inexperience for guys like Jack Hughes, Jesper Bratt, and a couple of other guys on their lineup is going to play a little bit of a factor. But we both got the Rangers. This is the blue and white podcast over here in the postseason. We are going to get to the brackets later this week because I'm really excited to let you know my final Stanley Cup. 2 teams in the Stanley Cup Finals. I'm excited to hear yours. Let's get over to the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Toronto Maple Leafs first round matchup real quick before we move on with the other 2 matchups. I'll throw it over to you. We're obviously Toronto Maple Leaf fans here. We're going to be very invested into this first round series for a lot of reasons. It's been a long time coming, but I'll throw it over to you to start us off with this very hot topic.
Let me just take a little sip here, pal, first.
Get it in you.
Here's the thing. This is the Toronto Maple Leafs, and we know the issues. First round, not getting it done. Boston Bruins, Achilles heel, blown leads, whatever. I'm done with it. Done with it all, Steele, because they have the best opportunity that they've had yet. A little bit of a down year from the Tampa Bay Lightning. Does that mean anything for game 1? No, it doesn't. I'm just talking about ramping up to the reasons why. If they don't get it done this year, Steele, I'm officially ready to make some serious changes with this team. And I'm not even going to go there yet. I'm just going to say now they're in a real position. Balanced D-men, some nice additions, bringing in McCabe and Shen. I think now you're going to see how important that is. Noel Acciari is going to do his thing. Ryan O'Reilly's going to do his thing. So for me, it comes down to, aside from obviously the ability for Samsonov to make some big saves, that's obvious. It's got to be number 34 doing his thing and changing the game. And I think you did a really good point of saying we saw how good Austin Matthews can be at all ends of the rink this year. He started to really figure it out on all aspects. So figure it out in the final one, and that's playoff performances. If he can do that, Steele, they got this series. Is it a big if? Maybe. But look at him in last year's first round, and I'm going to talk about that at Big Time Bets. He can do it. He's got to do it here in the first round. And if he does his thing, Tampa can't contain him. They don't. Victor Hedman down year. I know Vasilevsky's how good he is, but they have such a balanced attack this year. I'm going to throw it back over to you because I'm fired up, but it's 34 for me. He's got to be good from the opening puck drop.
I'm right there with you. Austin Matthews has to be that, again, one of those X Factor players for the Toronto Maple Leafs with all those other X Factors we mentioned the other day. To me, this is the year that Toronto Maple Leafs give Toronto hockey fans something to be proud of. Austin Matthews, again, all-around game is way better. Mitch Marner cracking 100 points. Nylander, 40 goals. O'Reilly plays way better in the postseason than the regular season. The leadership of Tavares has been elevated this year as well, like you've mentioned so many times. And all the moves that Kyle Dubas in the front office has made up to this point, getting Noel Acciari, Ryan O'Reilly, Sam Lafferty, Jake McCabe, Luke Shen. He acquired, and the front office acquired all these pieces to get the Maple Leafs playoff ready, and I believe they are playoff ready. This isn't going to be an easy fight, obviously. You're going up against the Tampa Bay Lightning, who have been to the finals 3 years in a row, but Tampa Bay has played way too much hockey the last 4 years, and in 1 week's time, Tampa Bay will be sent packing. I've got Toronto to win in 7 games, and just to let everyone know what the odds are out there, Toronto in 7 is plus 400. Toronto in 6 is plus 425. So I don't know if you said that, Flip, or mentioned it. Do you have Toronto in 6 or Toronto in 7?
Give me that plus 425, baby, because if this team gets it done, it's going to be in 6 games, because each game that this series goes a little bit later, advantage Tampa Bay and their willingness and ability to bounce back. They've been to 3 Stanley Cups, and they're a resilient bunch. They're going to have their boots on their throats, the Toronto Maple Leafs, early and often. And I know last season, the 5-0 win, it was a statement for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But I'm saying they got to take both games on home ice. Absolutely critical this year. You got to take game 1 and 2, in my opinion, for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and get that confidence under Ilya Samsonov.
Yeah, confidence.
Leafs in 6.
That confidence for Samsonov in the first round against Tampa Bay is huge and crucial. Just to let everyone know, because we did miss out on the odds of that Rangers and Devils game. Rangers in 6 is plus 500 right now. Rangers in 7 plus 450. So some great odds right there. Again, parlay all of those first 8 round matchups in the first round. Parlay them together. Some juicy odds there. We are going to get to the Vegas Golden Knights, Winnipeg Jets, and the Seattle Kraken, Colorado Avalanche matchup in the first round. And, of course, finish this episode off with big-time bets. But, of course, we got to talk about our favorite sportsbook app, FanDuel.
We do, and as much as Steele and I are absolutely fired up for the NHL postseason, the MLB full season is popping off, and that's why today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Grand slams, no-hitters, double plays, they're back, baby, and there's no better place to get in on all the MLB action than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can step up to the plate with a no-sweat first bet for up to $1,000. Go to FanDuel.com/lockedon to sign up, place your first bet, and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if it doesn't win. You can bet on who gets a home run, who gets stolen bases. I love that no run or no hit first inning prop bet. You can get degenerate or build a same game parlay on FanDuel. And don't miss your chance at that no sweat first bet for up to $1,000 when you join FanDuel today. Go to FanDuel.com/lockedon to sign up. FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the Major League Baseball.
Hey there, Locked On listener. Erica L. Ayala from Locked On Kraken here. And I just learned Discover credit cards do something pretty awesome. At the end of your first year, they automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right. Everything you've earned doubled. All of the cash back from eating at your favorite soup dumpling restaurant doubled. All the cash back from that trip where you sort of learned to snowboard also doubled. And the best part, you don't have to do anything ridiculous to get it. Nope, Discover does it automatically. Seriously though, see terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
And thank you so much for making the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast your first listen every single day. Make sure you're tuning in for all the episodes later in this week, especially tomorrow's episode where Flip and I break down our NHL postseason playoff brackets. Who do we have in the Stanley Cup Finals, and who do we have winning and lifting Lord Stanley at the end of the playoffs? It's going to be absolutely spectacular. Game 1 starts today, or yesterday, actually. Game 1 starts today for the rest of the playoff matchups. Let's get to the Vegas Golden Knights and Winnipeg Jets, though.
Why don't we?
First game between these two in the postseason. Flip. To me, this is a very obvious matchup, first round matchup, in my opinion.
Is it?
I have been seeing a lot of people, though, taking the opposition of what I'm going with in this series. You know, you mentioned this earlier. I'm very surprised that the Vegas Golden Knights are going with Brossoit over Jonathan Quick to start game 1 against the Jets. To me, it doesn't really matter, though. I think if Winnipeg has a chance to win a round, then it's going to be against the Vegas Golden Knights in round 1. After that, I don't think they have any chance whatsoever. Even with that being said, I think the Vegas Golden Knights take down the Jets in 6 games. Getting Mark Stone back is absolutely huge for the offensive group. Jack Eichel's going to do his thing. He's getting absolutely hyped up for his first playoff experience. And honestly, I just don't think the Jets have it in them. I know they won their last 2 or 3 games of the regular season, but the last month was just atrocious. I believe Nikolai Ehlers is out right now day to day, so that's going to be a big bust for them in game 1 of this first round matchup. But I've got the Vegas Golden Knights in 6.
This has been an interesting couple of days of me doing a lot of research, watching a lot of previews, and I don't know if it's maybe the Canadian market bias that I'm seeing, Steele. Like maybe a lot of, TV networks and, Canadian proponents want to boost up those Canadian teams a little bit because they know who butters their bread when it comes to the fans watching and reading and listening. But I can't help but feel that maybe they're also buying into the narrative that I did this year with the Vegas Golden Knights. They're actually not as good. And this Laurent Brossoit thing is obviously not their ideal situation with Brossoit in net. But let me just say this before I get to my preview. And my bad if the internet's a little choppy again today, guys. I got some bad weather down here in South Niagara. Stick with us, though. Brossoit was 7-0 this season, Steele, with a .927 save percentage. And I know it's a small sample size, but if you look into his career numbers, and I know he's been a backup, 96 games played in the NHL, 49-41, but a 2.78 save per goals against and a .910 save percentage. I'm just saying, maybe give credit due to a professional goaltender who is here for a reason. So that's just number 1. And I know when you match him up against Connor Hellebuck when he's gone beast this year, especially down the stretch, and he's got a Vezina, I get it. But why don't I hit you with this take? Because Craig Button's going off on TSN today, a big network here for the Canadian listeners who obviously know that, talking about how much he had to play down the stretch and numbers this and numbers that. And you know what I'm hearing? There's a lot of mileage on this goalie already, Steele. If this series starts to creep into those later games, I'd be a little bit worried about all those extra minutes that Hellebuck had to haul. So let me just say this, because everyone's starting to talk upset. Mark Stone's return is massive. The Vegas home ice advantage could also be massive, but then I mentioned how good they've been on the road this year, and I'm going to stop talking now because we're getting a little long in the tooth on this one. Give me the Vegas Golden Knights in 7 games. I know I keep saying 7 games. Especially in the East, I see a lot of very close competition. And I know the Jets were better down the stretch, but they played really poorly for the month before that. The wingers are what impressed me in the Winnipeg Jets, and they're going to have to get it done. Scheifele, Wheeler, Connor, and if Ehlers is in there, that's where I think the edge lies.
Yeah.
If there is one, I understand Brossoit, and maybe we're going to eat some hat on this one, Steele, but give me Vegas in 7 games.
Yeah, and it's not even a diss on Brossoit because I actually really like him as a backup goaltender. I just, to me, I don't understand going with Brossoit over Quick, who has that experience. Nonetheless, I'm there with you. I've got Vegas in 6. You've got Vegas in 7. Vegas to win in 6 games, plus 400 right now. Vegas to win in 7, plus 500. So the odds go up if it goes the distance. Let's get to the final matchup here in the first round. The Seattle Kraken making their official debut in the playoff, the postseason, taking on the Colorado Avalanche in round 1. I'm just going to leave this really quick. I've got Colorado in 5 games. They're going to absolutely destroy Seattle. I think Seattle can maybe make this a little bit of a competitive matchup, but I think this will come down to the goaltending and Alexander Goryev just being a whole heck of a lot better than both Philip Grubauer and Martin Jones right now. So whoever's in the crease for the Seattle Kraken, they are really going to have to stand on their head, be an absolute brick wall, because when you've got Nathan McKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, Cale Makar, Arturi Lehkonen and Valeri Nichushkin all coming at you, you got to be aware of who's on which side. So I've got the Colorado Avalanche in 5.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of, maybe get a little creative with this, Steele. Think of a way. Is there another angle to take? I don't see it.
There really isn't. There really isn't.
And Cale Makar is returning. I think also maybe given how much, I know he's a young player, but how much he had to log last postseason, that could have been a little blessing in disguise. That could be huge for this Colorado team, knowing how many minutes he's going to have to eat here. That could be a sneaky caveat, honestly. And actually, let me just give a little bit of credit to a team that I don't think I gave enough to this season in the Seattle Kraken. And Benier's solid, bottom 6 really good. One of the more underrated, I'd say, defensive groups as well, who were really, really good this year. The Seattle Kraken have actually taken points in the last 3 games against the Colorado Avalanche in the regular series, 2-0-1, including 2 wins, overtime loss. It's got to be Colorado in 5. It's real. Like I wanted to come on here and say there's a way that they might make a real series of this. I just really don't see it, Steele. We've seen the ability of Nichushkin to just be a playoff warrior.
Yeah.
We've now seen Rantanen take his game to a whole other level. McKinnon has come on amazing at the end of the season, doing special things. And I thought about this again in part of my research for this game. Bowen Byram, Devon Toews, and Cale Makar, in my opinion, have the most talent out of any trio in the NHL defensively, and we haven't even seen the best from Byram yet. So to me, that's just something that the Kraken aren't going to be able to deal with, and I'm going to say maybe the Kraken get game 1 and we see like the gentleman's sweep here, the reverse sweep. But I don't think that's going to happen either, because we're going to get to big-time bets, and I'll explain that as well. But Avs in 5 games.
It has been a very impressive season for the Seattle Kraken, but not good enough to get by the Colorado Avalanche in that
Reigning
first round
Cup
series.
champs.
Reigning Cup champions. It would have been great as well, if Andre Burakovsky wasn't injured, facing up against his old team in the first round. But unfortunately, the Seattle Kraken will be without him in that first round matchup, and I believe for the rest of the postseason, if they even get that far. Nonetheless, we're getting the big time bets where the money is made. But first, this episode is also brought to you by our friends at Athletic Greens and their product AG1. I started taking AG1 because I wanted more energy throughout the day, and I absolutely hate taking pills and vitamins. It's just the worst. And I wanted to see what this stuff was all about and what all the hype was about. With one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, and probiotics to help you start the day off right. And the special blend of ingredients supports so much: your health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and even your aging. Athletic Greens was created when the founder experienced a ton of gut health issues and ended up on a very complicated supplement routine to recover from it. And it was costing him over $100 a day, which is just way too expensive. So right now, it's your time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. I take it right in the morning, and there's no need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/NHL Network. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/NHL Network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. And thank you so much for making the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast your first listen every single day. Don't forget, we are free and available on your favorite podcast platform, including YouTube. So make sure you hit the subscribe, hit the follow button. Flip and I appreciate all the love and all the support you show us every single day. We hope that we're helping you too out there with the big time bets. Flip, just rattle all three of your picks off for Tuesday night. Who do you have in game one?
Today's episode is brought to you by HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. With the cost of groceries going up and up, now is the perfect time to get started with HelloFresh. HelloFresh is cheaper than grocery shopping and 25% less expensive than takeout. I love HelloFresh for that exact reason. It saves me time and money, and I don't have to sacrifice taste or quality. For more information, go to HelloFresh.com/NHL60 and use code NHL60 for 60% off plus free shipping. Again, that's HelloFresh.com/NHL60. Again, today's sponsor is HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
I'm looking at the Rangers-Devils game first, Steele. And
okay.
The Rangers are 6-3-1 in their last 10 against the Devils. And I know they actually struggled in all 3 game ones last postseason. I think they lost all 3 in the postseason. So I think that they realize how important it is to take the tide of these series early, because I don't think they can handle going through 3 rounds of game 7s if they want to get to a cup this year and win it.
Yeah.
Because the team that I think's knocking at that door on the Western Conference is going to be McDavid, ready to blow the doors off of whoever comes out of the East. So Rangers are also getting paid plus 115 right now. You're going to pay me plus money for the team that I think takes this series. I'll take the Rangers on the money line to take game 1. Plus 115 Steele. I can't help but sprinkle on that. My second bet, before I get my lock of the night off very quickly, I think you and I were talking at the start of the episode, before the episode, and during it, how important Austin Matthews is to the success of this Toronto Maple Leafs team, not just this playoff series, but always. Last postseason in game 1, 2 goals and 1 assist. Give me the Austin Matthews anytime goal to set the tone early, get the confidence under both himself and his team. And if I was going to put another player prop, give me the John Tavares anytime assist. I think he's going to be a big part of what's going on as well. But yeah, man, loving the Austin Matthews. 3 goals and 5 assists last first round, if I'm counting those numbers right, which I think I am. Lock of the night, Avs money line minus 193. I gotta go with Colorado. Almost every single. Hey, they're gonna win 4 games in this series. So even if you bet them every single time, you're still going to make a little bit of money if you're parlaying them or whatnot. Give me Avs money line lock of the night.
I like that a lot. My first pick of the night, I'm taking the Maple Leafs on the money line against the Tampa Bay Lightning. They absolutely destroyed the Tampa Bay Lightning last year in game 1. I believe it was 5-0.
It was.
It was 5-0. So I'm going back to that. Maple Leafs on the money line is my first pick. My second pick of the night, I'm taking the Avalanche on the puck line at plus 130 right now in game 1. I think McKinnon and Rantanen and Makar, they come out swinging, and Georgiev is going to stand on his head. I'm taking Avalanche on the puck line. I still think it could be a close game, 3-1, 4-2 type of game, but nonetheless, they win by 2. And my lock of the night, I'm there right with you. Rangers on the money line at plus 110 right now, I believe. Yes, plus 110. I'm going to take them on the road just like you are. Rangers on the money line. Even if you want to parlay that with Rangers Devils over 5.5 as well at minus 130, I would take that as well. But that's my lock of the night. Flip, just to reiterate, what is your lock of the night?
Avs money line minus 190.
Avs on the money line minus 190. Flip's lock of the night. Rangers on the money line plus 110, my lock of the night. Those are the big time bets for Tuesday. Make sure you're locking it in, pencil it in, put your money where your mouth is, because that's what Flip and I are doing this postseason, baby. We are excited for playoff hockey. And thank you so much for making the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast your first listen every single day. Again, make sure you're tuning in the rest of the week and for tomorrow's episode where Flip and I break down our entire NHL postseason playoff bracket. And again, thank you so much for tuning in for today's episode. Have a great day. Good luck with all your bets out there, and we shall see you back here again tomorrow.
Peace.
Hey, Prime members, you can listen to this Locked On podcast ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today.
The following message was written by ChatGPT.
Get the inside scoop on everything NHL playoffs with Locked On NHL. Join our expert hosts as they break down the latest news, games, and predictions. From the hottest players to the biggest upsets, we've got you covered. Don't miss a beat this postseason. Locked On NHL. Available on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.